Hi everyone, welcome back. Well, we are currently in week 5 of Voyage 13 Part A, so this is the final week of Part A. And once again, this voyage started off with $3,300 as being the amount we wanted to pay off. That included a vet bill for $300 and then a Discover 2 balance transfer for $3,000. And then for week 5, we have 5 seahorses on our lineup. So how's everyone doing this week? We're having some warm weather and I'm enjoying it when it cools off in the evenings for a little bit. Get the house open and get some fresh air. So hopefully you're not having too high of heat in your areas. So we will jump into what the numbers did this week. We'll start off with line of credit 1, also the checking account. Last time we stopped off at $200.86. We then had a paycheck for $1,000 going in, which then brought us to $1,286. And then for line of credit 1, we sent $140 to that for future bills. So now we're down to $1,060.86. We did send $50 to loan 1 for a partial payment, bringing that down to $1,010.86. We then did $200 towards line of credit 3, which is holding the mortgage payment. So now it's down to $810.86. And then we did go ahead and send Discover 2 a payment for $559.99, where last week we did it for $560.01. And I was just doing kind of the number variances just so I knew it was a different payment and they weren't all the same amount. So then after that, we had $250.87. Then line of credit 2, we sent them a payment for $50, and that's down to $200.87. We then took out $100 for cash, bringing it down to $100.87. And then the last $100.86 went to savings, and so we just kept a penny in the checking account. And then this shows the savings account where on July 11th, after we did the 100, I think I must have evened out the account and sent another $14.08 to savings, bringing that to $258.36. And then the $100.86 went in, so now we're currently at $359.22 for savings. And then I had mentioned about the payment I had sent to Loan 1. The actual payment was at $191.28. So I do is about $50 a week. That way we can keep the interest paid down. And so this week, $9.42 went to interest, where $40.58 went to principal. We start off with $8,933.36, and right now we're at $8,892.78. And then we show what happened to lines of credit 1, 2, and 3. So line of credit 1, that's the holding for the bills. Currently that balance is $10,975.50. Available is currently $1,024.50. And we've been doing a weekly payment of $140. And the actual monthly payment is $116.05. And then with our line of credit 2, this will be the payment holding. So we will... Then this week I just did the $50 to it just to cut down on the interest. So it's $11,995.90, and then available is $504.10, and $560 is the weekly payment that typically would go to that while we're in between voyages. But since the Discover 2 will cycle out on, I think, the 23rd, I wanted to make sure I got everything to that so we have the lowest balance possible for, and then we'll be just down to $5,000 owed on that balance transfer, which will be broke down into the next segments of B and C. So then on the line of credit 2, we monthly is $122.30, and then line of credit 3, we do that for holding for the mortgage payment. We are at $11,578.87, so there's $921.13 available, and then we've been doing $200 a week to that. And then the monthly payment is $122.32. So total owed on the lines of credit is $34,550.27. The complete available amount is $2,449.73. And then we do $900 a week towards the lines of credit, and then that other $100 typically goes towards the savings. And then the monthly payment on all three combined comes to $360.67. And then for this final week, week 5 of the Voyage 13A for this log, we did get the $560 paid off. And week 4, like I had said, we did the $560.01, and this was the $559.99, but I'm just going to go ahead and round it to the even numbers. So this brings it down to 0. And then the VAT bill had gotten paid off last week, and that shows that the Voyage is completely paid off. And then we will go ahead and update our log here. So that was $560 that got paid off. So currently there's $0 owed on that. And then we have $2,740 plus that $560 comes to $3,300 that we paid off in the last 5 weeks. And then for the grand total, add $560 to that, we've paid off $58,769.87. And then this just shows off the credits available. That small revolving credit had a limit of $500, and that still has that $500 available. We have a Visa that has $10,000 on the limit. The balance is $8,225.12, so available is $1,774.88. We have a Citibank that's at $18,000 limit. We're currently using $5,900 of that, so there's $12,100 available in that city. And then that Discover 2 that we're working on right now for the balance transfer, the limit is $18,500. Currently there's $5,000 owed on that. And we're hoping within the next 9 weeks we get this $5,000 cleared off. And then we'll probably go ahead and just take this off of a credit card that we won't be using anymore. So we're at $13,500 available. And then Discover 1 has a limit of $20,000. The balance is $8,145. So that currently has $11,855 that's available. So the credit available comes to $67,000, and then what's actually owed on that is $27,270.12. So complete available is $39,729.88. And then for our next part B, we'll be doing another portion of this $5,000. I'm thinking of probably just doing another amount of $3,000, or I might stick with a $560 a week, and it would be $2,800. And then I also am planning on putting in probably a Target bill for $300, or I have a dentist for $435. But I'm thinking about maybe doing the Target, or I might even just do a portion of each one where I do part of the Target and part of the dentist, since basically it's just repaying back the cards that were used to pay those items off. And that way that'll cover the monthly payments on those 2 cards. So I think that is it for now. I think next week will be the one where we'll be paying most of our bills off from that line of credit 1, so we'll just take the money back out of there to pay off the monthly bills, and then the mortgage. I don't know, maybe that next week, or it'll be like the following week. It might be the following week when we'll do that, because I think that's on August 1st, is in 2 weeks from now, or close to that. So we'll probably just do that on that date. So please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please like and subscribe to follow my journey of paying off debt. And I will talk to you in the next video. Thank you for joining me. Bye.